Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Magic the Gathering Arena, where I thought since Zendikar Rising has just come out, we would do a little bit of a pack opening. Not quite as big as our first round, but we've got 15 packs here. Why don't we look at some of the new cards together? Alright, in our first pack, what do we got? Resolute Strike, it's an instant buff. Cunning Grace, Geyser Mage, great Geyser Mage. For his kick, return up to one creature. Bubble Snare, Kindi Ox, and Lull Mage is familiar. Okay, so it can add green or blue. Whenever you cast a kick spell, you gain 2 life. That's pretty good, I quite like that. And then we've got the Crag Crown Pathway and Timber Crown Pathway. Alright, cool. Let's have a look at our next pack. Reclaim the Wastes. Search your library for basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Spell was kick, search your library for 2 basic land cards instead, so we can pay 4 mana to search for 2 instead of 1. That could be good in my landfall deck that I've been thinking about. Fireblade Charger, Vanquish the Weak. When Demon's Disciple enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. That's not too bad. 3 mana 3/1. Or a 3/2 for 3. When Enter Hard Protector enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. I like that. And we picked up a Throne of Makindi. We can add a colorless mana, or pay 1 to put a charge counter on a throne. Tap it to remove a charge counter from throne. Add 2 mana of any one color. Only to cast kick spells. That's very situational sounding. Anyway, third pack. Got a black-white Vampire Cleric. When another cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever you gain life for the first time, each turn put a 1/1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. That's pretty good. I quite like that for a cleric deck. So we got a 3 mana 2/1 trample, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield and you control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Build that up pretty quickly, I would have thought. 1 mana 1/1 flash. When it enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature gets -2/-0, and its controller mills 2 cards. That's another good mill mechanic. And oh yeah, we've seen that one before. Alright, what do we got here? Subtle Strike. Choose one or both. Target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Do you have to target the same creature with that? Because that seems kind of pointless. A 3/3 that can be kicked to enter the battlefield. Return target card with a kicker ability from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, that's pretty cool. 3 mana, up to 2 target creatures, each get +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures in your party. Okay, that's just a pretty cool card if you're milling. Just a generic 3/3. Add 1 colorless mana, or pay 4 to put 2 +1/+1 counters on Crawling Barrens. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land, so it becomes a 2/2, I guess. And then the next time you do it, it's a 4/4. I'm understanding that correctly. You never know though, my understanding is a little bit limited. Spring Mantle Cleric. +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. A 1/1 Flying Vigilance. Yep. 2/2 Vigilance, has lifelink as long as you control another cleric. That's pretty good. Oh, and a Mythic Rare Wildcard. Very nice. Alright, let's have a look here. So that's just a 3/3 flash flying. We've got one of those already. I've played 4/3 for 4 mana. 3/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, gain 2 life for each creature in your party. 2/2, which can be kicked. Enters with 2 1/1 counters on it, so it's a 4/4. Each creature you control with +1/+1 counter has trample. Nice. So choose target creature, you lose 2 life. Until end of turn, that creature gains. When the creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. That's not bad. Now it can be played as a land. And we've just got a red-white reversible land. Alright, let's have a look what's in this pack. I think this is pack number 7 for us. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order, or play it as an island. Negate Colossus, a 7 mana 7/5. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. So it could be a 3 mana 7/5, basically. Stonework Pack Beast is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. Okay, so it's good for filling out your party. Whenever you cast a kick spell, Risen Riptide has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. So they're really aiming at kick spells, so we've got another Skyclave Apparition. Alright, what else have we got here? Mesa Lynx, as long as it's not your turn, Mesa Lynx gets +0/+2, so kind of a defensive card more than anything. So yeah, we've got a couple of those in our rogue deck just because we've had them. So that can be either a land or target creature you control gains protection from color of your choice, and attach it to creature you control. So this is an equipment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, the equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You can really pump something up quickly with that. Got a Myriad Construct. So it's a 4/4 artifact creature. If it's kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each non-basic land your opponent controls. When it becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it and create a number of 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Okay. So it's like an optional stack. Alright, what do we got here? Here we've already seen before. Sneaking Guide. The power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Okay. So that can be either a land or sacrifice a creature. Fury deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So you could just use that to finish the game if they've got blockers up, basically. Or remove its creature. Cool, got a rare. What would be nice is if we could, break down, say for example, a mythic rares into a number of rares. Generally, I don't think that's the case. Scavenge Blade, attach to target creature, creature gets +2/+0. Okay, so it's pretty basic equipment. Mine Carver, enters the battlefield, attached to target creature you control, more equipment. +1/+0, it gets +3/+1 instead, as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Okay. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Yeah, that's a pretty nice removal, especially if they've got a dangerous planeswalker out. Okay. Human Warrior gets +2/+0 as long as you control another warrior. That would be a 4/3 if you're running a warrior deck. Throw target creature with power 4 or greater. That's just a nice hard removal for a big creature. Got a couple of those already. 2/3, which can get +1/+0 till end of turn. Can't be blocked this turn. Costs 1 less to activate for each creature in your party. The Crab. Charax the Raging Isle, the legendary Leviathan Crab. I have seen this before. Charix gets +X -X until end of turn, where X is the number of islands you control. That'd be interesting if we could make that work somehow. Alright, Bushfire Elemental, 1/1 haste. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, Bushfire Elemental gets +2/+2 till end of turn. Or Brushfire, sorry, not Bushfire. And Pyroclastic Hellion, when it enters the battlefield, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. When you do damage to each opponent. Okay. A rare wild card. Very nice. 3 to go, you guys. Oh, we're up to 8 rares. That's cool. Another Scavenge Blade. Rabid Bite. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Okay, so that already existed. I think it's just new artwork. Yashan, Implacable Earth. A 4-mana 4/4 elemental ball. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for basic forest card and basic plains card, reveal those cards, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Okay. So that sort of just blocks other decks from doing fancy tricks, I guess, as well as helping us to find a forest or plain. Okay. Oh, a forest and a plain. Pretty cool. Okay. Ghoul-Draz Mucklord. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So it's a 3-mana 2/3, which when it dies becomes essentially a 3/4. Ravager's Mace, more equipment. When it enters the battlefield, attach a target creature you control. Your creature gets +1/+0 for each creature in your party and has menace. What do we got? Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. Legendary creature elemental. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. Okay, that's interesting. Does that mean that if I've got 5 creatures out and 5 lands out, this comes out as a 10/10? Because the other creatures are forest lands in addition to their other types. Interesting to test that. And last but not least, our last pack, we have a Prowling Felidar, which is a 2/3 vigilance with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield and you control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's pretty cool. A 4-mana 2/3 which grows each time you play a land. Blood Beckoning. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If it was kicked, instead return 2 target creature cards from graveyard to your hand. Okay. Be better if, it'd be more efficient, I guess, if it went back to. It's a choice to put it straight into play. Whenever paired tactician and at least one other warrior attack, put a +1/+1 counter on paired tactician. Okay. I like the artwork on this one, the Fearless Fledgling. 1/1 with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield in control, put a +1/+1 counter on Fearless Fledgling. It gains flying until end of turn. That's look, I just love the face on it. And lastly, we got a Scoot Swarm. Whenever a land enters the battlefield in control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. You control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm instead. Okay, that's cool. If we pump out lands, we'll pump out 1/1 insects, and once we have 6 lands, we'll create copies of this, and then copies upon copies upon copies of it, I imagine. Oh, that's very cool. That gives us a fair bit to think about with our decks going forward. So I was starting to look at a sort of landfall slash. I really want to try and get Omnath, Locus of Creation, working for us. So we'll see how we go with that, putting it together. But we'll leave it there for now, guys. Just thought you might like to see some of the new cards as we collect them. But for now, thanks for joining me once again. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and I will catch you next time.